Okay, so hello everyone, welcome to the session this afternoon. It is going to be an interactive session, so we'd love for you to join us on Slido. For those of you who haven't used it before, if you have the Slido app, you can use the QR code to join the session, or you can put slido.com into your browser and type in the code to join the session. We're just going to use that to ask you a few questions as we move through the session today to get your thoughts and feelings. So we will give you just a couple of minutes to get that set up, and then we'll move into the presentation. Okay, so to start things off today, and for our first question, I imagine you've been in quite a few sessions today. You've had a lot of information, so we just want to judge the room and see how you're feeling. So on that Slido app, you should have a question that's just popped up. So if you could choose one word or phrase that kind of describes how you're feeling this afternoon, just so we can judge the room. Oh, we've got someone who's feeling a bit sad. Hopefully we can cheer you up for the next half an hour and don't make you feel any worse. Fab. So we've got some great words coming through there, and we're hoping that by the time you get to the end of the session with us, you'll leave feeling motivated and inspired, and hopefully the one of you that's feeling a little bit sad will hopefully feel a little bit happier as well. Perfect. Great to see you all joining on Slido now. So in terms of today's session, we're keen to talk to you about the topic of youth empowerment. So we'll go into what that is in a little bit more detail later on. And to start off with, we'll introduce ourselves just to give you a bit of context about who we are and where we've come from to talk to you today. So my name is Verity. I'm the Early Careers Manager at Travis Perkins, and my job is to look at ways that we can encourage young people and get them excited about joining our industry and potentially joining us on an apprenticeship as well. And I'm here with my colleague Mariana, who I'll hand over to.
Hi, yes, I'm Mariana. I work with Verity on Early Careers, and it's just our focus to get as many young and diverse people in the business using what skills you have that might not already exist in the business. So hopefully this will inspire you to join.
Perfect. And the wider team that we're a part of is called LEAP. So that's the apprenticeship and early careers provision. And we offer those apprenticeships across a number of different businesses. So predominantly Travis Perkins and the brands that sit within the Travis Perkins group. But we also offer apprenticeships across the wider industry. And we're currently delivering programs for companies including Wix, the Highborn Group, and some members of the Builders Merchant Federation as well. So there's a whole wealth of opportunities within this sector. And again, we'll go into those in a little bit more detail later on to give you an idea of what's on offer.
Perfect. So today we're going to look at empowerment. So some tips and tricks on how you can be self-empowered yourself. And then later on, we'll also look at how does empowerment and Travis Perkins kind of link, and what do Travis Perkins offer to promote yourself being empowered. But why are we looking at this topic? So you'll see on the screen, there's a few statistics. So 81.9% of young people do not feel like they have a place to share their views on important topics. Just under 10% feel confident that they'll find a good quality job where they live. And only 25% of young people think their employers are supportive of hiring young people. So these figures are really key and something we want to challenge and change within our business. So again, through the topics that we're going to talk about today, I hope that you feel that we don't kind of fall into those statistics and that we do really value young people. So firstly, we just wanted to open up to the room. What do you think empowerment means, or what does it mean to you? So if you want to use Slido, using the details on the left, and just pop your comments in there. Perfect. So we've got confidence, feeling positive. To be in control. Being allowed to do things. Perfect. I'll hand back over to Verity to expand on that.
Perfect. So thank you for those answers. There were some great answers coming through there. And you exactly hit the nail on the head. So when we talk about youth empowerment, we're talking about the process of young people being encouraged to take control of their lives. And why is that important? So we can all reap some really great benefits from empowering more young people, making them feel included and giving them that power to really take control of their futures and the decisions that they make. Businesses benefit from it, as well as you yourself benefit from having that skill set. So if people feel valued and heard, they're far more likely to stay with their employer, which helps us to reduce unemployment. It also provides great insight. So young people might do things slightly differently or in a different way to how others would. They might have a different perspective on challenges or problems, and they have a different set of experiences that they can bring to the table to help solve problems and help move businesses forward. It also helps to equip future leaders. So you all on the call today, you are future leaders of businesses like the ones that we're working in today. So we need you to have that skill set. We need you to have that kind of power to take control, to make decisions and move things forward. And then finally, just being able to be the best version of you and ultimately giving you the skills to develop yourself and be empowered will help you to continue to improve and help you just be the best that you're going to be. In terms of how this concept works, so we'll go into that on the next slide. Now I'll hand back over to Mariana for that.
Thank you. So the first skill that we wanted to talk about is setting goals. So to be empowered, you really want to know what you want to achieve or where you want to be in life. And to do that, you're going to have a goal. So the first thing that you'll need to do is to break that goal down. So you've got one big goal to be somewhere potentially in 5 years' time, but how can you get there and what's that path? So break it down into smaller goals and use what we call SMART goals. So I'll explain what that means and then give you an example at the end. So be really specific in what you want to achieve and where you want to go. So know exactly what you want to do, put it in detail and be really, really clear on that. Make sure it's measurable. So that's when you read the statement, you know if or not you have completed that goal. So again, that will come up in the example, but just a really clear measurable of have you achieved that or not. Is it achievable? So really think, can you actually do it? Is it realistic? And that might mean that you'll need some support around that as well. So consider who and what support you would need as well. Is it relevant? So does this smaller goal contribute to your overall bigger goal? And does it matter to you? And then timely. So I'm not just talking about saying in 3 months' time or in 5 years' time. Put an exact timestamp on that so you can kind of work backwards and say you've got X amount of weeks to do this, and you can break it down into what activities you're going to do each week in the run up to that deadline. So an example of a SMART goal. So for this, to be really specific, the goal is to do a first line management apprenticeship. It'll be measurable by gaining a distinction. So if they gain a distinction, you know they've met that goal. If they haven't, you know they've not met that goal. How is it achievable? By setting aside 4 hours a week to focus on the coursework. Is it relevant? So you can apply your new skills into your day job and also vice versa. And then, like I said, putting an exact timestamp on that so you've got something to work towards. A quick study that I'll just go through that really puts the importance of written set SMART goals. So in 1979, there were some interviewers who interviewed some students at Harvard Business School, and they were asked a question: have you set clear written goals for your future and made plans to accomplish them? So as you can see on the screen, this is the group of people that were asked. So these red people on the screen are people that had no goals. So they didn't know what they wanted to achieve, so they had no goals in place. The orange, 13% of people, they had goals, they just hadn't written them down or had devised like a plan on how to achieve them. And then those 3% green people had clear written SMART goals, so something you can kind of refer back to and focus on. 10 years later, the same group were interviewed again, and the figures are quite amazing. So this 13% of orange, the people that had goals but hadn't written them down, They were earning twice as much money as the 84% who had no goals. The 3%, the green people, were earning 10 times as much money as the 97% of people combined. So just kind of think, or feel free to pop in the chat box on here, what does that tell you about goals and the importance of them? Hopefully you'll see that writing down clear, smart goals is really, really important and can really help you develop. Just pass back to Verity for our next tip.
Yeah, so this slide is all around a positive mental attitude. So if you want to perform at your best and bring your best self to school, to college, to university, or to work every day, that positive mental attitude is going to be really important, and things like stress is not going to have a great impact on that. So here's a few top tips in order to kind of keep yourself in that positive state. So first tip from us is to make changes. So think about any areas in your life that you're not happy with, any areas that are perhaps causing you undue stress, and what changes you could make to improve the state of those things and make those things better. Focus on one thing at a time, because trying to tackle everything at once can be a bit overwhelming and just add to that stress overall. Checking in is also really important. So we can all be guilty of running through a day, being really busy and not stopping to think about how we're feeling, how we're responding to different things within our environment. So checking in your mind randomly throughout the day, think about how you honestly feel and whether you can change that emotion, control that emotion, or potentially put a positive spin on the situation that you're in. Smiling and laughter is so important for a positive mental attitude. So even when you're having a bad day, think of one thing to feel positive about, one thing that might make you smile or might change your mood. Keeping your physical well-being as good as you can will support your mental well-being as well. So in terms of keeping yourself active, you should be aiming for around 30 minutes of activity every day. And also eating healthy food to fuel your body and fuel your mind as well. You're then thinking about your well-being in general. So going back over some of those earlier points, thinking positively, managing stress in the best way that you can, and talk to people if you need to unload some of that. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people. So there's a really great saying I heard recently that you shouldn't take criticism from the people that you wouldn't take advice from. So think about the people you have in your circle. Are they people that you would go to for advice? Are they people that would support you? And just remind yourself that negative people potentially don't have your best interests at heart. Think about the language that you use. So that's the language that you use to yourself as well as the language that you use in social situations. So instead of saying things like, I can't do that, try using I can't do that yet, and open up that door for you to be able to build that new skill set and challenge yourself to be able to do that thing in the future. And in terms of being kind to yourself, so don't say anything to yourself that you wouldn't think about saying to somebody else. We can all be our own worst critic, and it's really important to try and get out of that habit and try and speak to yourself quite positively and encouragingly to help you achieve your goals. And then the kind of final page of tips from us around this. So in a similar vein, self-care is really important. So you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to take care of yourself first if you are going to turn up and be your best as often as you can. And a few self-care tips, they may seem really obvious, but sometimes we really need reminding of these things and getting into healthy habits. So make sure you're keeping yourself well hydrated. Make sure you're recognizing the things that you're grateful for. So you could get into the habit of writing down 5 things that you're grateful for every day. Keep yourself active and then take time out in the day to do things that you enjoy. So some of you might be at school, you've got exams coming up later this year, and it can feel all a bit too much sometimes that all you do is go to school, come home, revise, do coursework, do homework. So try and take a bit of time out of every day to do something for you and do something you enjoy. So whether that's reading, learning something new, which we know is also good for our well-being, taking a relaxing bath, meeting up with friends, just do something that makes you happy. And as you can see from that image, to give your best, you have to be at your best. And some of those healthy habits will help you do that.
Perfect. The next tip is to be brave. So there'll be loads of things over the next few years that you've not experienced before, that you might be a bit afraid of exploring and doing. But our advice is really just to go for it. So try new things, take new opportunities, and then you'll see if you've got an undiscovered skill or an undiscovered passion for those different things. Don't be scared to fail as well. So these things are new, and no one's got to where they've got to in life without making a mistake. So if you do come across that, accept it, learn from it, and move on. And then just be brave and don't be afraid to try things more than once. So you might not have enjoyed it, or you might not have been good at it the first time, but after a bit of practice and revisiting, you might be better. So be brave to revisit the new things that you try.
And then following on from that, it's all about being responsible. So accepting responsibility for your actions, being accountable for your results, and taking ownership of your mistakes. So exactly as Mariana said, everybody makes mistakes. We're all human. It's about recognizing what went wrong, taking accountability for it, and trying to do better the next time. And if you can take that responsibility for your mistakes, then you can be so incredibly proud of yourself when everything goes right and take complete ownership for those things that have gone brilliantly, knowing that it's all down to you.
Perfect. So that wraps up some of the tips that we just wanted to share with you. So how do we link self-empowerment or youth empowerment with Travis Perkins as a business? So firstly, I just wanted to know from you all if you have heard of Travis Perkins before. So again, using the Slido, if you can pop through your votes, just so we can see where people are. Okay, so we've got a very even split there. So we will play a video to explain a bit more about the business, and then go on to a bit more detail. Do you want me to play it straight away, Verity?
Yeah, perfect.
What makes us who we are? A vision? A drive? A shared belief? All of us, passionate about what we do. We understand what really matters to our customers and communities. And we care about delivering the very best. Playing our part in building hundreds of thousands of brand new houses every year and transforming existing homes into places that people love. Helping to create the schools, hospitals, and businesses that everyone deserves. Building trust, brick by brick. We've been doing that for more than 200 years. We're proud of where we've come from, but it's where we're going next that counts. Being the leading partner to the construction industry means being there for our customer, building better communities, and going beyond expectations. It means sourcing responsibly, creating the most energy-efficient homes, and playing our part in moving towards a sustainable future. From tools to tenants, from design to drainage, making simplicity an experience, ensuring we all go home safe and well each and every day, and encouraging all of us to be the best that we can be. We're here to help build better communities and enrich lives. Each one of us has our own story, but striving together for a shared purpose. That is what makes us who we are.
So for those of you who clicked no before and knew nothing of our business, hopefully you've got a little bit of a flavour from that video. And as you can see from the video, we're a large national employer with market-leading brands in the construction industry. We deal with customers, so anything from independent builders or plumbers, right the way up to large contractors. And our aim is to partner with those customers and provide them with expert knowledge on products that they need to bring their projects to life. And to put the size of our business into perspective, we've got more branches across the UK than McDonald's have, and we have more trucks on the road than Eddie Stobart. So a really huge business with loads of opportunities for you to be a part of. And I think the most important thing that you hopefully got from that video as well is that despite our size, we've got really strong roots within our local communities, and we strive to do the right thing and strive to improve the communities in which we're working in.
Perfect. So how does this all tie up together? So we are a youth-friendly employer. So what that means is we're an accredited youth-friendly employer, and that's been granted to us by the Youth Employment UK. So that's been given to us through the work that we do. So we actively seek to employ young people across the country. So whether that be through our apprenticeships, our traineeships, the fact that we're on calls like this, we go into schools and colleges and universities. So we're really trying to reach out to all young people and to hire you into the business. Mental health first aid. So as you can see from this quote taken from a census last year, mental health first aid is something that's really, really important to young people. So we just wanted to highlight this to you, that it's also really important to our business. So we have 200 mental health first aid colleagues in the business, and we also run regular wellbeing webinars, and we have wellbeing officers. So something that could be really important to you is also really important to us. And we have roles and responsibilities and training and development throughout the year to focus on that. We also have a youth board. So this is a group of young people across all of those brands and groups within the business. And we come together and support each other and try to make a difference in the business. So whether that's going on calls with the group leadership team, changing something at branch level, or just having our voice heard, that's what our focus is. And then we've also got the LEAP team, so what Verity and I work on, as well as the wider apprenticeship team. So we obviously really drive the learning and development of all colleagues across the business through mainly the apprenticeship and traineeship opportunities. But if that's not necessarily the path that you want to go down or initially want to go down, we've got another team that look after the learning and development when you're in the work as well. So we've got an online platform which has got hundreds of courses. So this could be on mental health first aid or career development skills, product training. So really training and development is something we're really passionate about, as is young people typically as well.
Perfect. So hopefully by this point in our presentation, you're all really, really keen to come and join our business. So we'll just run you through a few different ways in which you can do that. So if you want to find out a bit more about what it's like to work within the construction supply industry and find out a bit more about our organisation, later this year we'll be launching virtual work experience opportunities. So you can join us and find out what different departments in our business do and what those job roles look like on a day-to-day basis. For individuals who are not quite ready for the world of work and want a little bit more training and a little bit more support to get there, we are also launching a traineeship programme this month, and that's an 8 to 10 week supported programme which will get you ready for the world of work with a whole host of employability skills alongside hands-on work experience. We have our apprenticeship programmes, which we've mentioned quite a few times in this call already, and on a later slide we'll show you the huge breadth of programmes that we offer, but there are over 40 of those programmes in total, and they allow you to grow your career from knowing absolutely nothing about our industry, having never worked with us before, all the way up to the boardroom if that's how far you'd like to take your career. So they run from a level 2, which is equivalent to 5 GCSE passes, all the way up to a level 7, which is equivalent to a master's degree at university. And then finally, we also have a whole host of careers, so part-time, full-time, in branches, in head office, and there's loads on offer for you if you want to come and find out more.
So where can we find out more? As you'll see on the link at the bottom, this takes you to a page with all of our careers information, this one directly to the apprenticeships. So a bit more about what we offer and what we do. And then right at the bottom, there's a list of the current vacancies that we have for apprenticeship roles all across the country. This on screen is a list of just some of the programs that we offer. So you can see in the top half of the screen, these are categorized into the brands and the groups that we work with. So depending on which business you work for, these are the opportunities you have. And then down at the bottom are a range of apprenticeships that are available to anyone across the business. So I just really encourage you all to take a picture of this screen, have a look and consider if any are of interest to you. And then obviously you can ask some questions at the end in a moment, or drop us an email. Our emails are on screen as well. So if you want to take a picture, please feel free. And then that brings us to a close. So if there are any questions that you'd like to ask, you can pop them in the chat box, or you can use the feature on Slido. It should take you to a Q&A session now as well.
Perfect. So we have a question there around how old do you need to be in order to apply for an apprenticeship with us. So there is no age limit at all. We have apprentices from the age of 16 right up to apprentices who are in their 50s with us currently. So even if it's not a career option that you want to take straight after school, you can consider us at any age. And then in terms of how to search for different apprenticeships within our company, so our apprenticeship opportunities are advertised on the Government Find an Apprenticeship website. You'll also find them all on our group careers website, which was the link Mariana shared earlier, so tpplccareers.co.uk. And if you follow us on social media, we quite often share opportunities across our Facebook and Instagram pages as well. So yeah, keep an eye out. So with that, thank you all for your participation today. Thank you for taking part in the Slido polls. Thank you for your questions. You have our email addresses there, so if anything pops in your head over the next few days, please do feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to support. But with that, we'll let you carry on with your days and hopefully see you in the business one day soon.